Good morning.
Good morning.
Mama and Pappy here. We're going to do something different today. Today we are with the Lower Susquehanna River Keepers testing water on Little Conestoga. We'll introduce you to Aaron and Julia. A little rainy today.
Today we are testing specifically for E. coli, which can cause gastrointestinal illness, and turbidity, which is a measure of the relative clarity of liquid, and can help verify the toxicity of water.
All right, we're walking down to Little Conestoga to do some water testing. We're going to be volunteering at the Lower Susquehanna River Keepers, doing this every Thursday. And there it is. We have Aaron and Julia.
Hi.
They're going to go for the dive on this one and do the testing.
Julia is placing the thermometer to test the temperature of the water.
Aaron's going to show us how the testing is done.
You'll notice anyone handling the sample is wearing gloves as a precaution. They're bagging the sample, and then, as you'll see later, they're keeping the sample cold until testing. Any tips there, Aaron, while you're in there?
So, like, if you look here, you see how the sediment's coming up? If it stays up, then you're probably not out far enough where there's current. But once you're out in the right position, it might stir up again, but the current should push it down. So if you just let it wait for a minute or two, let it subside, you can then collect your sample, just so you're not contaminating it. So it's 8:53 now. And then the way that I did that was I pointed the bottle towards myself, looking upstream, and that allows to help filter out some of the larger particles, and then you can see a little bit better inside the bottle, so you can see what level you're taking it to. So that's the bacteria sample. And if you have that data sheet ready, you can write 855 for turbidity. And we're going to do 3 rinses. So you put fresh water in there from upstream, and then dump it behind you.
In case you were wondering, high turbidity blocks light, increases the water temperature, clogs fish's gills, and harms aquatic habitat.
And then you fill it to the 10 milliliter line. Same idea with the bacteria sample. Point the open end towards you, looking upstream. And that's it.
Unfortunately, the thermometer is upside down here, but it does read 21.1 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 69.98 Fahrenheit.
So it's probably good now.
idea with stage, at least with this method, this is a method borrowed from Dickinson College. They have an alarm, and through alarm they run Stream Team, and this is how they gauge for stage. The idea is that you find a large structure that's not going to move or has a low probability of moving, and there's some large rocks here underneath the bridge. So I've been using this one rock out here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of long shaped and it's pretty flat. You want something fairly flat that you're gonna rest it on. And I just kind of find the middle of that rock, and then wherever the water line is coming up to our stick, it's measured out by feet. That'll be the stage that we'll pull. So it's 1.2 feet.
As was stated before, the bacteria sample needs to be kept on ice. This container is full of ice and will keep the sample cold until testing.
And then this sample we'll just put on the exterior pocket. It doesn't need to be kept cold. Actually, keeping it cold might take us longer to get a recording because if condensation forms, our meter won't be accurate.
And then she's scanning a barcode, which will give her readings of the area.
One will, for our locations, these QR codes will give us rainfall measurements.
That's right, for the last 24 hours. And then you do your little calculation. That will give you total. And for each location, there is a specialized data sheet that they use when they calculate everything out at the end. This data sheet follows the sample all the way through testing so that everything can be properly recorded. This will also record the positive or negative status of the E. coli for future referencing and for posting on other websites.
We're here at the second location for testing.
You can write 925. that's why we do this method here.
The depth you mean?
So the stage would be the depth. But I'm gonna go over here, and then if you can look, when, like I was mentioning yesterday, once this part gets to the top of the water, just let me know, and then I'll give you a reading. Good? So 13. 4.5 inches. So what we'll do now is we'll take these samples back. We'll then back to the lab, and then we'll receive the other samples. And once all the samples are in, we'll have about 28 of them. We'll then process them at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Have them in the incubator, hopefully by 4 p.m. and then come back tomorrow and pull them out and then do an analysis for the results. From there, we'll publish them to our website, our social media. There's a weekly newsletter that rolls out, and there's an app called Swim Guide.
What is it called?
Swim Guide.
Okay. And this is all to preserve the Susquehanna River.
Yeah, so it helps recreators make a better decision when they want to go out and either go for a paddle or swim. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Julia, anything?
No.
Hopefully it's not raining next week. How about that? Alrighty, thanks guys.
Yeah.